Yeah, thanks for having me, Sam. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just gonna introduce you a little bit for the people watching. This is Dan. He is a super awesome type 1 diabetic. We actually know each other from Camp Colorado. It's American Diabetes Association's summer camp in Colorado Springs. And yeah, I just wanted to interview you today to get your perspective on what it's like to be a type 1 diabetic. So I'm just gonna ask you a few questions.
Sweet, let's hit him away.
Awesome. So the first question I have for you is what was it like being a college student as a type 1 diabetic? And also, what was it like being a type 1 diabetic athlete?
Well, begin with my college journey as a type 1 diabetic. I think it was kind of scary in the beginning because I was so latched on to my parents by the time when I was diagnosed at age of 3 to a senior in high school. So all of a sudden, it's like, oh, shoot, I got to manage this whole thing by myself my freshman year. But after it's basically trial and error for my freshman year of college of trying to manage what can I eat, how much insulin should I give, and just there's many days that there were many challenges of dealing with it, and especially as an athlete too, because coaches are always hard on you and everything, so you can't get make excuses, so you just gotta tuck it away and just keep pressing when
Yeah.
during a game and weightlifting and many other stuff. So freshman year was a little tough, but after a while, I was able to adjust easily to the college lifestyle of living with type 1 diabetes. And eventually my A1C actually was way better than it was during high school. So
Nice.
it was kind of cool about that. And there was a one challenge that during my junior year, I think the one challenge I had was I overshot myself with insulin one night, because I had a pizza party and everything, and I actually had a near diabetic coma.
Oh, wow.
And my roommates knew I was making noise in my room, so they came in, and because I told them what to do when I had a low blood sugar, and my blood sugar was at 35, and I couldn't remember a single thing. So thanks to them, I'm still here. So that's been the
Wow.
challenges of type 1 diabetes in college,
Yeah.
and just being more in tune with my body and having a lot of detail to it.
See, that's the power of properly educating people
Oh
because
yeah.
they saved your life because you taught them what to do. That's incredible. And I really commend you for, persevering through your journey because it's so difficult day in and day out. And I can speak because I played competitive softball for a really long time and I'm a performing artist. So when you're doing other things, it's difficult to manage being on the field or dancing in a show and also managing your type 1 diabetes at the same time, and then you put coursework from college on top of that, and
Yeah.
it's a lot. So
It's a lot.
congrats on getting your A1C down and where you want it to be. That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question that I have for you kind of ties into what we were talking about, but I just want to know more about how diabetes has shaped you as a person today.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy beginning for me living with type 1 diabetes. So, for those that didn't know, I was diagnosed in 1999 at the age of 3. And I mean, the first few years was been an absolute struggle. And actually, I did came to Camp Colorado in 2010, but I was so stubborn, I was so into myself that I didn't let any other people help me out, and
Yeah,
I was in the burnout, yeah, the burnout phase
we've
of
been
that
there.
aspect. Yeah, we've all been there. And one day, I went to my doctor's at by in 8th grade. It's a few months after Camp Colorado. My A1C is about a 12, and the doctor said, if you won't take good care of this right now, you're not gonna have a long life.
Mhm.
So that conversation with my doctor kind of reshaped my life a little bit, as certainly at a young age when not knowing how life is gonna be so hard with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
And sports kind of helped me save my, actually helped me get better because it kind of took the mind off of like focusing on diabetes, and just focus on a sport actually is a really good distraction. Like you with performing arts and competitive softball, like we all need a distraction from diabetes to succeed in life. So
Mhm.
that kind of really helped. But I was not willing to share with type 1 diabetes with anybody until like literally like last year actually, because I get so tired of everyone saying like, what is that on your hip, because it's my insulin pump, and they all thought it was a pager. And I'm like, well, it's type 1 diabetes. And you go in the story, it's like explain like Game of Thrones when people don't know the TV show. And then one night I was actually at a team banquet, and I met a future recruit who's going to play football, and his little brother had type 1 diabetes. And the father was like, man, you must be one tough dude to play football and type 1 diabetes. So that's when I started coming out my shell a little bit of
Mhm.
um, going to events, talking to kids. And the summer of 2019 was my first time coming back to Camp Colorado and talking with kids about like our life experiences, kind of like helped me and become the person I am today.
That's so awesome. I love that you like turned something that can be challenging and can be negative for a lot of people and made it
Yeah.
positive. And I know it like takes so much time, and it really just depends upon the person too to get comfortable in your own skin as a diabetic, because you have like the societal worries of, people are going to judge me and I don't want to be a distraction in class, or, on like in sports or whatever, and that can be really difficult. But it's so cool, like, to take your own journey and to help, especially children, like at the diabetes camps,
Yeah.
because they are just where we have been. And it can be
Yeah.
so hard to do it all alone. So it's like nice to know that you'll make it through. And like these older kids who like, well, we're not kids, we're adults, but who have
Yeah.
been through the same thing, like they came out like on the other side strong and happy and fearless. That's awesome.
Yeah.
um,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
my last question for you is, have you ever been impacted by high insulin prices, or has someone that been impacted by them?
Me personally, I've never been impacted by high insulin prices because like my parents' insurance and everything. But I knew like a ton of people recently in the last few months, because my prescription, because I'm a big offensive lineman, but not anymore. They would give me like so much like insulin. So one day I was looking at the fridge. I was like, Mom, we have like a lot of insulin. And you know how much this costs? So my mom actually set up a few things on Craigslist to help give away insulin. Actually, 2 weeks ago, a firefighter from Fort Collins was asking for insulin, and we pretty much gave it to him for free because of
Wow.
how much it's like how skyrocketed. And we've also gave it to a few people around city, like around the city of Colorado Springs here too. It's just that social media connection is just huge. Because I know when I was diagnosed in '99, like we never had like technology like this, and probably insulin prices was a lot lower. But even though it says it on like set in stone, like insulin prices are expensive, there's always gonna be people that are willing to give out like insulin for free practically. When you're in a type 1 diabetic, you kind of like lean towards that community. So that kind of helped out on that.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I really do think, diabetics are always willing to try to help out other diabetics, even if you don't know them, because you have that connection that is
Yeah.
really rare, that, not a lot of other people share. And, insulin is so expensive, and so many people either don't have insurance or just can't afford it, because like the prices have tripled, and it's like it can cost up to $1,000 a month for people. So I
Yeah.
just think that's so cool that donate what you do have in like extras to others. That's just like awesome. I really admire that.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you again for being a part of this. I really appreciate it. It was so lovely, like hearing your perspective, especially from the athletic perspective, because being a diabetic and an athlete is so challenging. And I don't think people talk about that very much, you know? It's very underrepresented. So that was awesome. My film comes out on May 14th. So check it out. You can share it with your friends, your family, anybody you want. And yeah, stay tuned, guys.